going on, everybody? It's the Ike's Tech Talk weekly live stream. Y'all know how it goes down on a Thursday night with your boy Ike. Hey, I'm hearing the playback. Okay. Audio sounding good. Video's looking good. I see. Let me like my own little stream. I had the little preview pulled up, y'all. Let me see. All right, let me move that down. All right, we should be straight. Yo, man, what's going on with y'all, man? I feel like I haven't talked to y'all forever, and I just talked to some of y'all like literally not too long ago. Let me turn down this a little bit. I got the Timberwolves and Pacers game in the background here in a little picture-in-picture window. That's a pretty close game in case you're NBA, buff like myself. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. So much that I want to talk about with y'all and cover tonight. So let's go ahead and get into it. You might see me looking down a little bit more than normal. I have a different kind of setup going here. So I let the desktop, which is like my main kind of desktop up until this point, that's kind of going to be designated as gaming only. Like I'm not going to do any work stuff with it. I'm not going to do any creation stuff with it. It's strictly going to be for gaming. I already like wiped it, cleaned it, all of that. And then I have my gaming laptop that I'm actually going to be using here. And that's what I'm going to be kind of using for the foreseeable future in terms of like live stream, work, all that good stuff. So if you see me looking down, I got the laptop right here. You can kind of see it there. Yeah. So that's the reason why I'm looking down. This is where the comments and everything is. But this will be the first stream with the new kind of setup for me. I kind of got a triple command station going on. I got the laptop here, two monitors, my two normal monitors pulled up with a docking station. So we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed for everything to go off without a hitch. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. I see y'all already lighting up the chat, man. So good to talk to y'all. But Barry said video is freezing every 5 seconds. Are y'all noticing that too? Yeah, I see Brad saying the same thing. Here, let me see if I notice it too. Dropping frames. Oh, I kind of see it now on the preview. I don't know if that's a StreamYard thing or if that's OBS being weird, but we'll just roll with it. We'll just roll with it, man. Just roll with it. I'll have it fixed next week. Sorry, y'all, if I'm sniffling. Allergy season here in Florida, so kind of fighting those. All right, but let's go ahead and get into it. So I see we got Brad in the place to be. He said, Ike. What up, man? Hope everything is good with you. LaShawn, holla at your boy in the building, man. Top flight security of the world. What's up? Hope everything is good with you, homie. Also, speaking of which, LaShawn will be live tomorrow, y'all. I always say it every week. I'm going to say it again. Make sure y'all go show that man some love and check him out. He will be live tomorrow night. LaShawn, keeping it clean tomorrow, right? Trying to make sure. But I'm pretty sure we keeping it clean tomorrow. But yeah, go show that man some love. He does this thing. Juan, TK, like I say every week too, they'll be live later on this evening. So go check them out for best of our week, man. LaShawn said, Ike, you're late. Umar, Ike, late. Yeah. My sister was holding me accountable tonight. I told her like 2 days ago that I was going to fix her TV so she could put in her headphones to her TV. She's getting in this weird headphone phase where she wants to use her headphones with everything. So I had to sit with her and do that really, really quick, even though she's going to bed now. But you know how kids are. Everything is like, I need it now. Like it has to be fixed now. So I showed her how to set that up and how to do that. So that's why it took me a little bit longer tonight. So was on daddy duty. But let's go ahead and get through roll call, man. And then I got a quick, channel update in terms of next week's live stream. And then we'll go ahead and get into 1+ Watch 2. I don't know if y'all can see that, but 1+ Watch 2. And we'll also get into some articles, man. So let's get it. Jojo in the building. She said, hello, everyone. Hello, Jojo. Genosis, man, what's good? I hope everything is good with you. Okay, cool. I didn't ask for you. Stop. My Google just lit up like it does like every stream. Okay, here we are. I lost the place for a second. Why does this keep? There we go. I said what's up to Brad. I said what's up to Umar. Yo, Ron, what up, man? What up? He said Ike stands for I can't I can't ever start on time. I like that. I like that. Sorry, y'all. I'm on daddy duty as usual. So y'all know I gotta mute the mic to tell the little one to go to bed. Y'all know how that go. Mims, what's up, man? Hope everything is good with you, homie. I like that though, Ron. I like that. I can't ever start on time. I'm on my own people time, right? Let me stop. Let me stop. Oh man. I said what's up to Bibs. Yo, Hawk, what up? What up? I hope everything is good with you. And then Barry said he's gonna be in lurk mode, no problem. Top flight security of the world, part 2. What's up, man? Hope everything is good with you, Bear. Oh man, y'all are wilding. Jeff, blessings on your day, sir. I appreciate you for coming through, man. Always showing the love and the support, yo. T. Dot Holla in the building. What up? What up? Hope everything is good with you. Yeah, talking about the dropping frames. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing or if it's because I got some other stuff here. Let me try to close out some other tabs and stuff too, because I don't need all this stuff pulled up. Um, I'm looking at the playback here. It looked like it might have fixed itself because I don't see it doing it anymore. So we'll consider that resolved for now. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, hey Ivan, what's up, man? Hope everything is good with you. Shay Queen of Steeler Nation Kennedy in the building. What up? What up? What up? Hope everything is good with you. Said Lil Easy Jr. Oh, I didn't get a new mic. I ain't buying no new mic. I still got this same Elgato Wave mic, bro. Same Elgato Wave mic. I just got everything plugged into the laptop now instead of to the desktop. So it might be something wrong with the desktop with my audio settings or something. He said yes, 9 p.m. tomorrow. Oh, clean. Next week we Ignite. So there y'all go. Make sure y'all do members only. So next week y'all can get to the Ignite hours, man. Ignite hours is still the the funniest show on YouTube. Funniest show on YouTube. Yeah, man. It actually got in yesterday. So I've been doing my thing. Somebody remind me at 9:30 to log my battery percentage. I'm testing out the battery. So what I did was I charged it up. I downloaded all my apps. I had a system update right out the box. What did my wife say they have for dinner? Barbecue pulled chicken. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting my fat person on. When you get here. Sorry if y'all can hear me typing. I got these on so I can't hear myself typing, but sorry if y'all do. But anyway, so OnePlus Watch, what I was saying as far as the battery. So I got it charged up. I had a system update out the box. I did that. I downloaded all my apps. I set up all my tiles, watch face, everything is set up. I took it off the charger at 9:30 exactly last night because I wanted to test out this battery to see what I could get. So we coming right up on 9:30. So somebody, if I don't say anything about it, we'll probably be talking about the OnePlus Watch at that time anyway. So I'll go ahead and kind of let y'all know kind of what's been going on or whatever so far. And I'll also log that on my little battery cheat sheet here, man. But so far it's kind of doing some things, some good things. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit, yo. If Ike ends the stream early, we'll know why. Facts. Hey, Mims got his today. That's what's up. That's what's up. What colorway did you end up going with, Mims? I know you told me, but I forgot, dude. But anyway, we'll go ahead and really quick just pivot to next week, and then we'll get back on the OnePlus Watch because I want to make sure I get that out of the way before I forget. Y'all know I'm forgetful. Next week there will not be a live stream, so I will not be live streaming next week. It is my eldest son. For those that don't know, I got 3 little ones. I have the baby, my daughter, and then my oldest. My oldest actually lives in another state, so he's going to be coming for his spring break next week. I'll be picking him up this weekend from the airport. So no live stream. I want to spend as much time with him as possible. Not this weekend, but next weekend we have like a really big family trip planned. So I got to make sure everything is set up, haircuts are done, all that stuff on Thursday. So no live stream next Thursday. Y'all won't see me again until the Thursday after for live stream. So no live stream next Thursday. I'm gonna be spending some time with him before he has to go back. So on the plus side, I may or may not have something coming in that I'm going to be able to do some testing on aside from the OnePlus Watch. But I'll kind of leave that to when I get back. Leave y'all with some suspense if I could hold a bucket of water, because y'all know I can't keep a secret. Say he got the silver. That's what's up. I wanted the silver watch, but I wanted the black band, bro. If I could have swapped out the green band for the black band, I would have gotten the silver too. But I will say I do like this black a lot more than I thought I would. Like I thought I was gonna be like silver or bust. I like this black a lot. I like the black a lot. But like I said, we'll get into that in a little bit. So not in a little bit. We'll go ahead and talk about it now. So OnePlus watches first. Just some general first impressions. Like I said, nothing concrete because I've literally had it for at this point coming right up on 24 hours. So first impressions, I'll kind of take it from the top and kind of work my way down. So unboxing and just first impressions on like the build and stuff like that. Box, it wasn't really anything super crazy. You get the little charging doohickey. I wish I would have bought it. I left it in the bedroom because I actually really do like the little way that I like the way that they're doing it. I'm done with you, Mems. But I like the way that they're doing it with the little charging puck where it doesn't have the embedded cable. I hate when companies embed cables because if any of y'all have kids or pets, y'all know kids can destroy stuff, pets can chew up cables, all that crap, man. And at least when you don't have the cable embedded, you can just unplug it, throw in a new cable, and you can, rock on or whatever the case may be. So I really like the way that they did it. It feels like you can just use, whatever cable you want, all that stuff. We'll talk about charging when we get to battery because that's one thing I do want to talk about a little bit too. But yeah, so charging puck, I'm okay with it. It doesn't feel overly cheap. I know some people mentioned it feels really cheap. It is plastic, but it doesn't feel like stupid cheap or anything. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a charger watch, so who really cares? But you get that in the box, you get a cable, and then you get the watch. Now, the watch itself, one, in terms of build quality, it feels just as premium as any Apple Watch I've had in any Galaxy Watch or Pixel Watch or whatever. I only had the Apple Watch Ultra for like a couple of days or so before I returned it. The crown would dig into my arm on the Apple Watch because it sits so low on that watch. But I didn't have that one long enough to really get a feel for how the build really is with that. Like I said, it is titanium. I'm not sure if, something's a little bit different there. That emote kicked in. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if I would compare it to that necessarily, but in terms of like my Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, I had an Apple Watch Series 5, and I've had stainless steel Apple Watches in the past. It feels just as premium as all of those watches, in my opinion. Um, I was really skeptical about the band. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. I ain't really with that. See, yeah, Mims even said it here. He said Ultra Build is in a class of its own for smartwatches. And I remember putting it on and being like, dang, like this feels dope. But I don't remember exactly how I felt because I didn't have it long enough. So I know Mims has both. He has the OnePlus watch and he has the Apple Watch Ultra. So he'll definitely be able to tell you for sure. Yo, Hefe, man, what up, man? Appreciate you for coming through, big homie. Hope everything is good with you. I see BG in the place to be too, man. What up? What up? What up? But yeah, it feels just as premium as any of the stainless steel Apple Watches I've had, and the Galaxy watches I've had, the Pixel Watch, all that stuff, man. It feels just as premium. The band is surprisingly good. I'm typically not somebody that likes the OG stock bands on watches. The Tick Watch, I took it off immediately. Apple Watch, I typically take those off immediately too. The Pixel watches was fine. I just bought a bunch of third-party bands. And the Galaxy Watches band, I was okay with the little magnetic clasp one. I was okay with that. It was pretty cool that it was magnetic. but I switched that out for a metallic band anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But this one, I'm gonna rock with this OG band like for my daily use. But if I'm like getting dressed up, I'm going somewhere, whatever, I'm gonna get a nice black leather band, and that's what I'm gonna switch it out with when I want to like dress up the watch, because it's very like premium. Like you could definitely dress this up for sure. And like the little protrusion on the side, let me go that way. The little protrusion, it's on this side. On this side, I thought it was gonna stick out like way farther. It honestly doesn't stick out all that much, to be honest. I can't really get that super centered, and my top down ain't working with the laptop yet, but it honestly doesn't protrude all that much. In terms of build quality, if there was one thing that I would have to like talk about or say just super early first impressions, is the crown isn't a rotating digital crown. And I know a lot of people have said that, but that's one thing I'm not sure why they didn't turn into a digital crown. Maybe it would have increased the price overall or something like that. I don't know. But I'm really, really wishing that they would have done like a rotating crown for this. Like it rotates just like a rotating crown. You just obviously don't get any haptic feedback from it. Um, I'm wondering if they could like make like if the hardware aspect of it is there and they could maybe just throw something together with the software. That would be pretty cool. But if there's one thing I would say for OnePlus Watch 3, definitely give us the rotating crown for sure. But other than that, man, everything else has been gravy. I love the fact that you can customize, and when I say customize, I mean fully customize both buttons. Like I can have both buttons do whatever I want. Like the top button, a press and hold is the Google Assistant, because you do get that on this watch. Double click is taking me to the Google Home app to control or not to control some. It's to control my thermostat. And then on the bottom button, a double click takes me to Google Wallet, and a press will actually bring up my media controls. So like if I'm watching a video on YouTube or something from my phone or whatever, and I want to, play and pause from my watch, I just press the little button, the little action button, and it switches to the media controls. Has the media controls. So I prefer it that way. I don't do all the fitness stuff, man. I honestly would turn like sleep tracking off if I could figure out how to turn it off, but I have like all the other health stuff turned off. Workouts, auto tracking, I don't do none of that stuff. I'm fat and I'm lazy. So I don't mess with any of that stuff, man. So, like I said, from the fitness aspect, go check out like Juan and TK. I know that they both put out dope videos on it from a fitness perspective. So go check them out, man, to get that type of information. The bulk for me is notifications, controlling smart home stuff, and checking sports scores through tiles. Got my sports scores right there. Sports scores. That's about it. But yeah, like I said, that's the only thing build quality wise that I would say for sure I wish was different. I wish that the crown rotated. Like that would be dope. Like that would make the watch literally perfect, in my opinion. But that's like build quality or whatever. I don't want to take too much on this. He said Ike is never fat. I know, dog. I know. I can't get fat. I weigh like 150, 160. Like I'm a pretty small dude. Pause. But that's build quality. Next we can kind of talk about battery life a little bit too. So it's creeping up on 9:30, 24 hours later, and I'm sitting at 76%. So for 24 hours, I only lost, we'll round it up, I only lost 25%. So that's kind of telling me with this type of usage, unless something crazy happens, I should get about 4 full days of usage with this particular watch. So I was only asking for 3 full days, 4 days. I'm more than okay with that. Obviously, you can stretch that out if you use the RTOS side exclusively, because with having that whole dual OS mode thing going on, you can not really switch between the two, but you can turn off the Wear OS side completely to get more battery life. I'm personally keeping the smart mode on with the Wear OS stuff too. And like I said, 4 full days on my first charging cycle, I am totally okay with that. So I'm not really tripping about battery life in any aspect or regard so far with it. The charging, Super VOOC is so convenient. Well, not Super VOOC, but VOOC charging is so convenient on a watch, man. Like it is really convenient to have on a watch. Like throw it on there, because typically what I do with my watches, like when I'm not testing battery, anytime I go take a shower, because obviously you're gonna take at least one shower a day. At least I hope you take at least one shower a day. I take at least one shower a day. Excuse me. So anytime I go take a shower, it's about a 20-minute process for me to like shower and get dressed or whatever. So if 10 minutes is rated to get you a day's worth of battery life, 20 minutes, I should be sitting pretty good. And that's the only time I really plan to charge the watch is when I'm getting in the shower. Other than that, it's gonna just live on my wrist for the most part. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But if you have any other questions, man, just throw them in the chat. I'll answer them. I see Ivan went ahead and asked. He said, "Is it Wi-Fi or LTE?" Ivan, that is going to be another deal breaker for quite a few people. There is no LTE model. OnePlus did not do an LTE model. I would assume, and this is a pretty big assumption on my part, I would assume that it's due to them wanting to just recover from the failure that was the OnePlus Watch 1, and they just wanted to put out a good watch first, like build a good foundation, and then they can build upon that. So now that we have well, I won't even say good, now that we have a great foundation with this, I would say next year rotating crown and LTE would be dope. Because if they did offer an LTE, I would have gotten LTE for sure. But unfortunately, only Wi-Fi for right now, sir. Um, Jojo said we can only hope and wash your hair too. See, I don't got a lot of hair, so it don't take me that long to wash my hair. Um, I'm done. Jojo wrong for that. She said we can only hope. All right, but that's battery charging. What else? It's about performance. I know most people don't care about performance on watches, but I will say like it is really, really smooth. It's really, really responsive. I would say every bit as smooth and responsive as like the Pixel Watch for those who have those. The Pixel Watch is like really responsive, especially the Pixel Watch 2. Pixel Watch 2 is really smooth, really fluid, and really responsive. It's on that same level, which is like on the same level as like the Apple Watch, in my opinion. Mims could probably add to that too, because like I say, he's using the Ultra, which that's using a newer processor and everything. But for me, it feels every bit as fluid as any other watch that I've ever used, and it feels more fluid than like my Tick Watch or my Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. I don't have the 6 Classic, so that could be a little bit better. But like I said, I don't personally own it, so I can't really speak to it. But other than that, man, I mean, it is a watch. I kind of leave it at that. But so far, I'm loving it. Took it out, set it up, put it on, and it's been rocking and rolling ever since. So I'm going to use that to segue into the first article, which is going to be OnePlus 13 tip to bring a new design and ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. New design and an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Shout out to Ben for his reporting. So the OnePlus 13 may finally get a new design, a reliable source claims. For the past few releases, OnePlus has been sticking with roughly the same overall look and feel for its devices in a lineup. The OnePlus 10, 10T, 10R, 11, 11R, 12, and 12R all look pretty similar. I mean, that's okay. Design language. I'm okay with that. A larger off-center camera sits on the left side with the metal that makes it look like it's connected to the frame. Later generations converted this into a circle, but the basic concept has been very familiar for the better part of 3 years now. According to Digital Chat Station, that may change as OnePlus 13, excuse me, is allegedly clean. Or I don't know why I said cleaning. Is allegedly changing its design to remove the family style hinge. Don't know what they mean by family style hinge. That rough translation seems to be referring to the area around the camera, so pretty much a new camera design on the back. Referring to the area around the camera, as these devices don't have a hinge. Yeah, that's why I was thrown off too. The post also mentions a Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 under the hood. As they said, as expected, we already knew that. Beyond that, another Weibo post claims that the OnePlus 13 will also adopt an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. I think the same post also talks about the Xiaomi 15 series going ultrasonic as well. OnePlus has been using optical under display fingerprint sensors for the past several generations of its devices. Excuse me, these allergies are kicking my butt. And while the brand's fingerprint sensor performance is arguably the best in the business, ultrasonic is generally considered as the better technology, at the very least because it avoids shining a very bright light, which can be irritating in dark environments. Yeah, they said it here too. The Post also claims the Xiaomi 15 will also make this work. The OnePlus 12 makes its debut in China in early December before launching globally in January, and there's no reason to expect any different this year. So we're talking about the move to ultrasonic. Supposedly, Google's was moving to an ultrasonic this year because I know that Google uses the same manufacturer. I think for fingerprint sensors. I think they're all what is it? Goodix sensors. Goodix fingerprint sensors. And I want to say that that company just got to the point where they can mass produce ultrasonic fingerprint sensors. So I think we'll see Google, Vivo, Xiaomi, all of them within a year or so, move over to ultrasonic, which would be a good move. Which would be a good move. Ultrasonic is supposed to be more secure. I would love to see everybody move to that ultrasonic max where you have that really big surface area fingerprint sensor, not like the little small space. But that's also going to add a cost to it. People like to complain about pricing when it comes to some of this stuff. So yeah, will definitely be pretty dope to see, man. I personally would love to see a OnePlus 13 Ultra, which has, say, a camera stack from, oh, nice, my thing just went off. 76%. So we lost 24% in 24 hours. We had this cheat sheet. I'm also tracking overnight too. So like I went to bed at 9:30. I didn't go to bed, but I was still up. But I well not woke up, but this morning, 9:30 a.m. So 12 hours later, I had 85%. In case anybody's 76. So that means over 12 hours, I lost 9% battery life. 12 hours. Not bad. Not bad. But back to what I was talking about. I would love to see a OnePlus 13 Ultra. I just don't know how they I don't know how they slot that in, right? Because when you think about it, the OnePlus 12 is what, 300 bucks cheaper or 300 bucks cheaper. 300 bucks more expensive than the 12R. And even going from like 12R to 12, like there are some very major like differences. Like you got screen resolution. Okay, daddy mode had to engage. Um, you do see like some pretty major differences and changes between the two. Is it worth the extra $300? You can kind of argue that. And in order for OnePlus to kind of make another jump, say 200 or $300, I'm not really sure. Like I'm not really sure if just updating the camera stack would be worth adding or updating the camera stack and adding say an ultrasonic max fingerprint sensor. I don't know if that would be worth $300 extra for a OnePlus 13 Ultra, when you can get, say, a OnePlus 12 or OnePlus 13, because it's like I'm thinking about it from the perspective of this, like, what would they add to? We can even look at it from the 12 lineup, right? So looking at the OnePlus 12, if I were to come to you and say, okay, I'm gonna give a $300 budget, right? And you're gonna spend this extra $300 for a OnePlus Ultra. What features would you want to add? Ooh, with or without the bun? No bun. Does it come with sides? Um, but yeah, like what for $300 more, like what would you add to it, right? Like that would justify that $300 price point. Because like when you think about it, like it already competes with because kind of the default Android flagship right now is the S24 Ultra. It has the best availability. It's top in terms of specs and all that good stuff, man. Um, what would y'all want to see them? And I'm talking realistic stuff, right? Like I don't think we're ever gonna see a One Plus with like an S Pen built in, right? I honestly don't even think we'll see like a full-fledged desktop mode come from OnePlus. I think they'll probably wait for Google to do desktop mode for all of Android, and then they'll just integrate that, and I'm cool with that. But for $300, what would y'all want to like? What would y'all feel comfortable spending an extra $300 for? Like me, they could literally just give us the camera stack from the Oppo Find X7 Ultra and put it on the body of the OnePlus 12 because I want everything else that the OnePlus 12 offers. The 5400 milliamp hour battery, the fast charging, the great display tech, the Aqua Touch, all that crap. I want all of that. Just give me the camera stack for from the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. Now, would most people want to spend an extra $300 for that though? I don't necessarily think so, right? Maybe give us the camera stack, a 3D Sonic Max, because what they could do is maybe do a 3D ultrasonic max fingerprint sensor for the OnePlus 13 Ultra, and then just give us normal ultrasonic like what Samsung's using now. Give us that on the 13, or in this case, because we're saying 12 lineup. Give us that the normal one on the 12 and the 12R. You know what I mean? Or maybe stay optical on the 12R, go normal ultrasonic on the 12, and then ultrasonic 3D max on the ultra. So for $300 more, you would get the camera stack, you would get um the camera stack, the new fingerprint sensor. Ooh, no beans. Hmm. But yeah, like it gets hard, right? Because it's well, pause. But like it's hard to say like what would I feel comfortable recommending people to spend an extra $300 for. And I know that it wouldn't be the device for everybody. Most people would just stick to like the normal 12, and that's more than enough phone because, like I said, the 12 on literally, I would say every front except for intangibles, because you do have things like Samsung Dex and S Pen support and the ecosystem, but those are intangibles to me. But for like, normal phone features, right? Like, is it fast and fluid? Does it have a good camera? Does it have a good display? Is the software experience good? Stuff like that. Um, it already goes pound for pound, comparing, competing, all of that with the default Android phone, S24 Ultra. Like it is competing with the S24 Ultra on, I would say, 90% of fronts. I give that extra 10% because you do have things like the extra software support, which doesn't really matter to like super techies like us, because we're gonna upgrade every year or every 2 years anyway. But for like regular consumers, 7 years, that is a big deal for them. My dad holds phones for well beyond 7 years. So there's extra software support, the ecosystem, which OnePlus has an ecosystem, but it's not as polished as Samsung's. So ecosystem, S Pen, Samsung Dex, software support. I would say that that might be a bit it, you know? So like I said, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm curious to see what y'all would want to add. Like if I was to say, okay, we're giving OnePlus an extra $300 buffer, what would you want to see them add? Mim said, I have the first gen Ultra, but most of these watches are very responsive. MPT said, I tried to talk studio from Streamlabs. Stay away from that trash. Ah, that's funny. Oh, Chi 2 would be fire. But the thing is, Mims, I wouldn't want them to only do Chi 2 on the Ultra though. I'd want that on at least the middle one, right? Like maybe not on the baby, the 12R, but at least on the 12 and the 12 Ultra, I would want Chi 2, in all honesty. And that's just me, because Chi 2 doesn't feel like an ultra feature to me. It's like when I think of ultra features, I'm thinking, you know, the max fingerprint sensor, and even that isn't really like a ultra feature, but you could throw that in. Oh wow, Timberwolves won by two. Mims, I know you, or yeah, they won by two. I know you happy, Mims. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't know if I would count that as like an ultra feature, but like the camera array, that is 100% an ultra feature. Two periscopes and a 1-inch sensor, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It also said Google better have an ultrasonic. I agree. I agree. Okay, so only Qualcomm is doing ultrasonic. He said ultrasonic is from Qualcomm. If Samsung builds their chip, we won't see it. Got you. Um, Sleep tracking is on Mims. I don't know how to turn it off, unfortunately, or I would turn that shit off. Or excuse my language. I would turn that off. I don't really care about sleep tracking, but sleep tracking is on. Sleep tracking is on. He said they messed up their naming. Yes, it's the 10 Pro. Yeah. He said the OnePlus 12 is giving me some serious FOMO. I feel you, dog. Me too. Me too. I feel you. Yeah, one in sensor is for $300 more. A one in sensor is literally table stakes for me personally. Um, yeah, for $300, one in sensor. I agree, Malik. I agree. Oh, SD card. SD card could be an ultra feature. SD card, because when I think ultra, I'm thinking we're getting more into the realms of like content creation, like real pro use, right? Like using this to get some serious footage, right, for videos and stuff. SD card, it would be a good ultra feature, in my opinion. Seriously. MPT said dedicated. Oh, and MPT did stream earlier too. Y'all forgot to shout him out. He did stream earlier. So just in case you missed it, go replay squad that bad boy. Go replay squad that bad boy. Dedicated ISP, so like Vivo. He said larger sensors. I'm with that too. Um, yeah, I'm definitely with that. I mean, I want to say that they did improve the ultra wide from the 11, because I want to say all three sensors got a boost this year on the OnePlus, but I'm not sure though. I'm not 100% sure about that. I think satellite calling is gonna be built natively into Android now, right? I think that's what Google is working on or whatever, but that would be another good feature to throw in there. But again, that would be something that I would wanna see the entire lineup get. Like, I wouldn't wanna see something like satellite calling only be on the Ultra phone. Like, I wouldn't want OnePlus to fall into the Samsung category, where Samsung has a really bad habit of making their base model and Plus model like not nearly as good to get you to buy the Ultra. Whereas like I don't really see OnePlus doing that. Like the 12R looks to be the best possible phone they could make for that price point. The 12 seems like the best possible phone they could make at that price point. So I kind of would want them to keep up that same energy, in all honesty. Stop it. I'm done with you, sir. MPT said the Ultra would be priced right between the non-pro and the open. That would be right in line. See, but that's the thing though, MPT. That's exactly what I want. I want them to offer, and shout out to Juan. He kind of did a better job at visualizing it, but he has everything broken up into pricing categories. And anything $1,000 over is like ultra territory, right? So I definitely would want to see them play in that ultra territory. Now, will they? I doubt it, because they may feel like there's not a lot of money to be gained in that territory because it's kind of ran by Samsung and Apple. But I would like to see OnePlus fight in that territory. I would be really interested. Google as well. I would be very interested to see what OnePlus and Google engineers would cook up if you gave them an extra $300 or $500 to play around with in terms of like building stuff in their phones, right? Because spending $1,300 on a phone, spending $1,200 on a phone, I'm expecting it to have everything. Like I'm expecting it to have those extra intangible features. Like I'm expecting that for that price point. So I would like to see what they would do with that. In all honesty, it would be pretty dope. Janosa said $300. Ditch the super VOOC marketing. I mean, I don't care about the marketing as long as the charging is fast. As long as the charging is fast, I don't care what they call it. And Mem said everything. What's everything, dog? What's everything? What you mean a 4K display? Okay, LaShawn. See this comment, right? And the thing is, I know LaShawn is trolling, right? LaShawn, and I'm telling y'all right now, anybody watching the replay who may not know, LaShawn is 100% trolling here. Like he's trolling. But you have some people who, and I'm not saying that they're gonna ask for the same stuff, but you have some people who would legit come out with some crazy stuff that Samsung doesn't offer at $1,300 and that Apple don't offer at, what is the iPhone 15 Pro Max? 1,200 retail? I think it's 1,200. But like Samsung and Apple ain't offering this stuff, but people would expect OnePlus to do it if they charge $300 more. It's like, yo, do realize that even if OnePlus came out and said, you know what? Hold on, double rice. if they don't have any other options besides rice and beans for sides, yeah, double rice. But what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, sorry, y'all. Fat person moment, getting my grub on or figuring out my grub. But yeah, like the thing is like even for $300 more, it retails for $800. $300 more is only $1,100. So they'd still undercut Apple and Samsung, and people would still expect them to do significantly more than what Samsung and Apple are doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Because for $1,300, I want everything too. You know, even if I'm not gonna use it, I want everything. So, like I said, ball's kind of in their court, but definitely. Brad, this is a big one too. Until Qi 2 speeds improve, it's not worth it. Because I think Qi 2 is limited to like what, 20, 25 watts in terms of wireless charging. And if I'm rocking with wireless charging, I want fast wireless charging. I don't want 15, 20 watt wireless charging no more. Like I'm too used to how fast my open charges. MPT said, I wonder if they didn't go with bigger cameras because of the space. If the module gets big enough, it has to go lower. That would block the Qi charging coils. It's a good point, too. I don't know, man. I mean, they also might be looking at it from the perspective of cost, dude. Because when you think about it, for what their phone is priced at, it's right in line with every other phone from a camera sensor perspective. Like remember for a second, from a price perspective, you don't compare the OnePlus 12 to the S24 Ultra or the iPhone 15 Pro Max. You compare it with the S24 Plus and the iPhone 15 Plus, I think is in that same category, and the Pixel 8 Pro. Those are the phones that you really want to compare the OnePlus 12 to. I mean, the only reason we compare them to the Ultra and the Pro Max is because OnePlus is fighting way above their weight class. Like they are fighting way above their weight class. So that's the only reason why. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I would say that they probably went with the Sony sensor, which the Sony sensor is doing work. Like it's putting in crazy amounts of work. But even with that sensor, it's just as big, I want to say, as what if it's not as big, it's not as significant of a gap from what Samsung's doing with the Ultra or what Apple's doing with the iPhone. And even, I mean, in a situation too, even if it is, it's a $500 difference. And when you look at the output between the two, at least based off the camera samples that I've seen, it's a little bit more competitive than what I think a lot of people want to give it credit for, you know? So, like I said, I want bigger sensors, of course, but I also expect that if they do go with bigger camera sensors, that price is going to go up too. And then they fall into this category where they did last time, where they tried to maximize as much as they could in terms of cost and specs, and people gave them a hard time, and they had to go all the way back to the drawing board with the OnePlus 11. So it's one of those things where you got to be very careful about what we ask for. We want bigger sensors. We want all of this cool tech and stuff, added in. But then when companies give us these things, we get pissed off because they raise prices, or we say you shouldn't spend that much money on a OnePlus or an Oppo or a Xiaomi or a Pixel. You should only spend that much on a Samsung or an Apple. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful about that. Very careful about it, because, like I said, for the $800 they're asking for, I feel like their camera sensors are right in line with where they should be, because it's definitely clapping the cheeks of the S24 Plus for damn sure. S24 Plus ain't even got a periscope camera, and they just got Quad HD this year. So, like, when you compare this to everything it's supposed to be compared to, I really don't see much competing with it, except for like the Pixel 8 Pro. Pixel 8 Pro competes nicely with the OnePlus 12, in my opinion, but that's about it. Like, Apple and Samsung's offerings in that pricing category is not competition, in my opinion. Genosis said, but seriously, for $300 more, variable periscope, one in sensor lens, I would say double periscope instead of variable. Because again, at $300 extra, you are paying $1,100, and Samsung and Apple ain't doing variable periscope sensors for $1,300 and $1,200. You got to be careful with what we ask for extra money. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason I pose this question, because I like to see where people's heads are at, right? Because we instantly think like, okay, well, what else what else could they add to this for $300 more? And we just start spitting out these crazy features without thinking to ourselves, wait, there's phones on the market that cost more than what this phone, even with that extra $300 price increase. There's phones that would still cost more that don't have one-inch sensors, that don't have variable periscope cameras. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful. Me personally, though, for $300 more, I want the same exact camera stack as the Apple Find X7 Ultra, 3D Sonic Max, the fingerprint sensor, the big fingerprint sensor. And honestly, for me, that I would pay $300 more for that. Me personally, but not everybody would need to, and not everybody should. The same reason why most people didn't need a Pixel 8 Pro last year. They could have got the 8 and been perfectly fine. So it's just gonna kind of depend. If you really want those extra camera chops, you'll go ahead and spend the extra money. But we got to be very, very careful about that. We can't say, hey, for $1,100, you got to give me variable periscope. You got to give me one-inch sensor. You got to give me this. You got to give me that. You got to give me this. You got to give me that. When Samsung and Apple is charging more money than that, and they're not offering those things, right? You got to be careful. Got to be careful. See, Mims, exactly my point. When it comes to OnePlus, they would receive all the hate in that price range. They tried it once already. And this is exactly the reason why I don't think we're going to, I'm not going to say ever, I'll never say never, but this is the reason why I don't think for the foreseeable future, we will see a OnePlus whatever Ultra. Because the minute OnePlus crosses a certain price threshold, even if they gave us the exact same camera stack as the Apple Find X7 Ultra, like if they literally just said, okay, we got the back of the OnePlus 12 here. And I know we spent pretty much the whole stream talking about OnePlus. I promise y'all, I did have some other articles. I got one more thing to rant about with Google after this, and then we can wrap up the stream. But I'm gonna hit this last target, and then we're gonna move on. Because I'm kind of just ranting at this point. But if they literally took the same exact OnePlus 12 phone right here that's pictured, and instead of having this camera stack, they threw the Apple Find X7 Ultra's camera set there and added, and I'm not even going to say $300 more, added $200 more to the price. So starting at $1,000, I guarantee you, with every fiber of my being, people would have complained about it. People would have complained about it. Oh, it has double periscopes and a one-inch sensor and all of the other cool things that we already love about the OnePlus 12. But the fact that OnePlus made a $1,000 phone, a phone that crosses $1,000, I guarantee you people would talk shit. Excuse my language. I guarantee you people would talk trash. Ain't nobody trying to spend more than $1,000 for a OnePlus phone. And it's sad. It is sad when their $800 phone competes so well with phones that cost $500 more, $400 more, $200 more. Yet if they raise their price even by $200 to match the Pixel 8 Pro, and they gave you the best of the OnePlus 12 and the Apple Find X7 Ultra, people would still complain about that. Sad. It really is sad. And PT said Apple giving all iPhone 15 certain features, but not the 14 Pros, which have the same SoC. Oh, it's scummy, but I definitely am surprised that they didn't keep the satellite stuff. And that's my thing. Like something like that doesn't feel like an ultra or a pro feature to me. Like that feels like a feature that should just be there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Qi 2. Like I don't feel like you should pay more for having Qi 2. Like Qi 2 should be on everything. Maybe not the R series, like because I could see that. Like at that point, you really are like penny pinching on cost. But like your kind of middle child and your premium tier, they both should have that. They both should have that. But good point though, MPT. He said, Ike giving Willy Wonka free reign for the Pixel Ultra. Yo, I mean, if Google came out with a Pixel Ultra, that would be pretty fire, man. But I would need this the same way I'm saying about OnePlus. Like, I would really want them to bring it. Like, if me as a tech enthusiast, pricing doesn't bother me, right? If I find the value in it, I'm going to spend the extra money. I'm going to pay for it. Pricing doesn't scare me because I also understand the perspective of if I want best in class tech, I gotta pay for it. I gotta pay for that. You know what I'm saying? You at the end of the day, like you have to pay to play. And I'm kind of in a position where it's like, okay, if they do increase the price, I just want to make sure if they do increase the price, that they increase the price and it's worth the price increase. As long as the price increase is worth it, I have no issues spending the extra money. I have no issues spending the extra money. That's interesting. I don't know why the game ain't on here yet. That's weird. Buff Streams is out here tripping. All right, but anyway, oh, I see it. I'm tripping. All right, let's move on. But that's all I'll say about OnePlus, man. Like I said, it just kind of it's just sad to me that even if they did bump up the price, people would still talk trash. Even if they made the price bump worth it, people would still whine and cry about it. It just irritates me, man, because you got Samsung and Apple literally year over year charging you more for phones in this same price category as a 12 and giving you less. You know what I'm saying? Like the S24 Plus, in my opinion, I promise this is the last thing and then we're going to move on. The S24 Plus, I can tell I'm passionate. It just became a phone that I can somewhat look at and be like, I could kind of see why somebody would pick that up. Last year, S23 Plus, no. I was like, stay away from that. Stay away from that. Because I almost called them Google. Samsung, you're charging people $1,000 for this phone. You're not putting Quad HD. We still don't have a dedicated periscope camera. You're essentially nerfing the phones to make your Ultra look so good. I hate that. I hate that. Anytime you put out a phone, you should be putting out the best possible phone you could put out in that pricing category. The best phone you can put out. And I'm sorry, if OnePlus can put out a OnePlus 12 that is this spec and has this good of experience and gives you this much for $200 cheaper than what the S24 Plus retails for, there's no excuse for Samsung. There's no excuse. But with that, let's move on. So we did get a feature drop for all my Pixel peoples out there. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm going to let LaShawn, because I know he'll most likely cover this tomorrow on Opic Mic Night. So just know, go check for your update if you got it. But there was one area that I did want to point out. JoJo knew it was coming. If y'all know me and how I feel about the Pixel Fold, y'all knew it was coming as well. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Circle to search, dude. Let's talk about it. Now, my beef with this isn't the fact that circle to search specifically, it isn't coming to the Pixel Fold right now. Could it come later? Yeah. Google needs to communicate that, and we're going to talk about that too. But like I said, the big thing for me with this it's not about the feature itself, circle to search. Because some people are like, oh, well, you can just do this and it's the same thing. And I understand that. It's not about the feature, it's about the principle. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this, man. But let me see y'all last comments really quick before we go into it. LaShawn said I kind of like them now, man. He's talking about OnePlus. Hey, Mike in the building. What up, man? He said, yeah, I mean, Samsung charging $1,420 for the 512. And that's the even crazier part. I didn't even factor in the aspect of matching storage, right? I didn't even factor that in. Because if you max out a OnePlus 12, I didn't even factor in the storage, right? If you go 512, 16 gigs of RAM on the OnePlus 12, $899, $900. $1,420 for the 512 gigabyte version of the S24 Ultra. So what is that? $520 difference? We'll just round down and just say 500 to make it a nice even number. It's just easier. But I didn't even factor in the storage comparison. I forgot to factor that part in. So it gets crazy, man. It really gets crazy, dude. Mike says some phones overseas have rapid wireless charging, but I suppose, yeah, no, it's definitely proprietary because the wireless charging standard, which is Qi 2 now, it's caps out at like 20 or 25 watts right now. So if you want faster wireless charging, which I've never heard anybody ever say that they don't want faster charging on their phone. Like I've never heard anybody say, no, I don't want faster charging on my phone. I might hear people have concerns for their battery health, which I've seen more research and things and stuff that has come out from like overseas brands talking about the steps, steps that they take to make sure that they preserve battery health and do all of that stuff. And the thing is too, you don't have to always super fast charge your phones either. All of these manufacturers, at least the ones that I've used, I haven't used a Vivo in quite some time, but like I know Xiaomi and OnePlus for sure, they have features where like if you're charging overnight, the phone won't fast charge. It'll trickle charge throughout the night. And that's if you even want to charge overnight because you don't have to technically. So like I said, I'm okay with them having proprietary stuff until the standards catch up. Once the standards catch up, then everybody needs to move to one standard. But if I have to choose between having proprietary stuff to get the speeds that I want or having a standard that is slower, but it is a standard, give me proprietary any day of the week. I'll just stack up on chargers from that company if I have to. Because I still got Xiaomi chargers lying around. I have 2 Warp Dash chargers that I can't even use with the newer OnePlus phones because they switched over to VOOC or whatever. But I have 2 of those just laying around. Like I got chargers for days because, again, as the homie Easy would say, they put the damn no, that wasn't. Was it Easy that said that? No, I think it was Tech Twan, where he was like, put the damn charger in the damn box. So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a tech enthusiast and you upgrade your phone every year, not only are you getting a new phone every year, you're also getting a new charger every year as well. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Full speed USB-C port as far as data transfer goes. I'm not sure you're talking about there, MPT. Are you saying somebody doesn't have that, or like you would want to see that? People are paying more for foldables, getting less, but expect OnePlus to bring more. Lewis, thank you. Like this is exactly my thoughts. Like you'll and we don't even have to bring foldable phones into it at all. We could still talk about slabs, right? Like we could still talk about slabs because the best competition in this price point is the Pixel 8 Pro. Everything else in this price point is kind of getting curb stomped, in all honesty. And then if you look at ultra tier phones, which it does compete with ultra tier phones, the only thing that it's getting beat at is like intangibles, things like the Apple ecosystem. Because the Apple ecosystem is still, I don't care what nobody say, some people say it's a walled garden. I think the Apple ecosystem is dope, how everything works seamlessly together. I still think that concept is so dope. It is a little bit of a lock-in and a close-in, I get that. But it is still, the functionality aspect of it is still really, really enticing for a lot of people. And then when you're looking at the Samsung side, you're looking at like S Pen, Samsung Dex, stuff like that. Like I said, intangibles. But when you're looking at pound for pound, when we look at phones, display quality, cameras, battery, performance, like that, like those things, OnePlus is literally there with phones $500 more expensive, dude. Easily. So I don't know, man. I feel like everybody kind of need to step up their game. That includes Google too, because Google, you can't be dropping 128 gigabyte phones no more for $1,000 when OnePlus is giving you 512 for $900. Yo, like I'm not trying to be a OnePlus fanboy, and y'all know me. Like this is probably the most I've talked about OnePlus in years, man. But like when I see a company that's really shaking things up and doing shit different, man, like it gets me excited. It gets me pumped. It makes me want to go buy their products. Like BG said earlier, you know, he was like, he was saying, you know, I'm kind of OnePlus up right now. It's because OnePlus is putting out dope shit. You know what I mean? Put out dope products and people are gonna buy it. And that's honestly how I see it. Like if somebody puts out something dope, I'm gonna pick it up, and that's kind of what it is. So it's just always super frustrating to me when people don't give stuff chance just because it's not. It's like you're not a tech enthusiast at that point. You're a brand enthusiast. Like it's just really sad to see the tech industry, or I won't even say industry because it's not manufacturers. It's us as techies and enthusiasts. It's just sad to see us as enthusiasts start to treat this lane of tech as like how the fashion industry has become, right? Where I can go buy an all-white tee, right? An all-white tee from Walmart, right? And because it has a Walmart tag on the back, I'm getting clowned, right? It's a Walmart shirt. Oh, you bought clothes from Walmart. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I can go buy the same damn shirt from Gucci where it's a white t-shirt that maybe has Gucci written on the collar, but everything else is white. And people are spending $300, $400 for it. You know what I'm saying? For it. And that's not me telling people how to spend their money or anything like that. But I don't like that aspect of the fashion industry. I don't want smartphones to become that as well. And I mean, it's already kind of happened, at least here in the States. And it's just sad because it's like, dude, you're gonna, I think Juan put it best in his video with the OnePlus 12. You are making the conscious decision to spend significantly more money to stay with a brand than getting into something else that could be a better fit for you. Now, if there's little features and things like that that work for you, cool. I'm not mad at you, dog. I'm not hating. If you need the S Pen, you need Samsung Dex, you need the Apple ecosystem, you need iMessage, you need the Apple Watch, whatever your reasoning for sticking with your brand of choice, I have no issues with you. I have no issues with that, right? Because you have a viable reason and a justifiable reason for why you're sticking with that company. My beef is with the people who have no brand allegiance yet peddle Samsung and Apple like they're the best thing since sliced bread. And then when real competition comes out, it gets clowned because it's not one of those. Like that bothers me. And I know it shouldn't. It's not that big of a deal. But as y'all can tell, I'm really passionate about this stuff, man. I just want people to, I want competition. When we have competition, people make better products. The OnePlus Open came out. Look at the leaks and rumors for the Pixel Fold 2. Google's trying to step up their game. Not that everybody's going to like the new aspect ratio, but you really see them stepping up their game. Now, were they already planning some of that stuff ahead? More than likely, yeah. But it's good to see companies trying to step up their game because they're acknowledging the competition. We've had the same aspect ratio and pretty much the same Z Fold for the last 3-4 years. 3-4 years. And now we're finally, well, I'm not gonna say finally, we're hopefully going to finally see some major change this year with the Z Fold 6, if the little ultra rumors are to be believed. So competition is healthy, man. We need it. We need it, dude. We need it. So if any brand, I don't care if it's, y'all have heard me gas up Xiaomi, y'all have heard me gas up Google, y'all have heard me gas up Apple, gas up Samsung. I will give praise where praise is due. I don't care who the brand is. I will also critique where critique is necessary. And goddamn, I'm about to critique the shit out of Google with this one. We might go a little bit longer. The missus is grabbing food and coming home anyway, so I got a little bit extra time tonight, y'all. He said, right, that OnePlus 12 is more of a direct competitor to the S24 Plus or even the S24 proper. Sort of like the exactly, Mike. BG said OnePlus is in the perfect lane right now. Spot on. Them cheeks be clapping. Let me stop. I figured I would get y'all attention with that one. Oh, man. BG crazy. He said Pixel 8 Pro need a heart, aka processor, to compete with OnePlus 12. And I'm not even going to lie. Like, even when you put those two phones side by side, unless you are somebody who is like heavily into like the Pixel's camera. And when I say I'm not going to say the Pixel's camera like it's so much better than the OnePlus. Like for point and shoot, I definitely would still give it the slight edge. But using the OnePlus Open point and shoot has been perfectly fine. Like I haven't missed using a Pixel, using the OnePlus Open's camera. And like I said, unless you're really dialed in on that Pixel camera experience or some of those Pixel features like call screening and all that stuff, unless you're really dialed into that stuff, man, honestly, the OnePlus 12 is a way better buy, than even the Pixel 8 Pro. Hell, it might even be a better buy with the Pixel 8 Pro on sale for $800 right now. Like I still would maybe push somebody to a OnePlus 12 if they don't have any platform allegiance over a Pixel 8 Pro. And y'all know I love my Pixel. So it's just keeping it a buck, man. Keeping it a buck. Genosis, it's not that Samsung and Apple has to have it first. I don't care who has it first. For me, it's about them having it at all. Like it's about them having it at all. Like I'm not going to be the one that sits here and says, OnePlus for $300 more has to have blah, 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 and Samsung and Apple don't have blah, 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 blah at a more expensive price point. So it's not about who has it first. For me, it's about the principle of them having it at all for me. Because if OnePlus did do that and Samsung came out the next year and gave us more, and it was worth the $1,300 that they're asking for, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, yo, bet, you're getting way more phone for the price you're paying. Because there are some, like, the thing is, I would never expect Samsung to bring down their price, to be in line with what OnePlus, because they do give you some benefits that would justify having a slightly more expensive Galaxy Ultra. You're getting the S Pen. No other phone has a built-in stylus as capable as the S Pen right now. You're getting Samsung DeX, and the only real competitor to that is Motorola with Ready 4. So Samsung has certain things that, yes, their phone should be a little bit more expensive. But saying $500 more expensive, or even if we did bump up the price of the OnePlus 12 and got those extra features, even at $1,100, that is still a what? 11, 12, 13, 14. That's still a $300. And then if you want to match storage, that's still a $300 to $400 price increase. And if OnePlus added that extra stuff, what would you really have different between that and the Galaxy? You would have S Pen, Samsung DeX, and AI features. Those three things aren't worth $300 to me, not to everybody, but to me. He said, why do we only look at cameras as a justifiable? That's a good point too, Mims. I think for me, I look at cameras as more justifiable because the more capable your cameras are, like the more high tech your cameras are, the more expensive they are. Like that Sony sensor that they're using for the OnePlus 12 and the OnePlus Open isn't going to be as expensive as the new 1-inch version of that sensor. The 1-inch version of that sensor costs more. So that's kind of how I justify it. It's like if I use better camera hardware, well, it costs more to put that in the phone. So naturally the phone's going to be more. So that's kind of how I justify that. But I do understand where you're coming from though. Thank you, El Jefe. Circle to search. Let's go. Jefe keeping me on track. Squirrel. Yo, slang in this thing. What up? Hope everything is good with you. Yo, LaShawn, I got you on the other one. I still have the link for it. I got you, dog. Yo, you a hater. Don't be talking about my articles, man. Don't be talking about my articles. Talk about its principalities. See, yeah, y'all already getting into the Google talk, man. Let's go. See, y'all keep me on track. I love it, man. I love it. So let me read this, and then I'll get to y'all comments or whatever too. I'm sorry, El Jefe, but I saw this and it resonates with me. BG, this is what I was saying. Like the Ultra will always have a couple of little extra things that justifies it being a little bit more expensive. I get it. They got an R&D putting the pen in the body and all that stuff. So I'm cool with it being a little more expensive, but not $500 or $300 more. Is kind of where I'm coming from. All right, but circle to search rolling out to Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, but not the Pixel Fold. Google, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. Let's talk about it. Following the March feature drop announcement, Circle to Search is starting to roll out to the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, which that's earlier than what we thought. Originally, they were saying September was what Samsung was saying. It's already appearing on some devices today via a server-side update. Make sure the Google app is up to date and will be available for all users over the following weeks. This means as of today, some Pixel 7 and 7 Pro users will gain access to the new feature. Access will be automatically enabled for select users. There's no action to take on your end. Once available, long press on the gesture navigation. I know I muted myself. Long press on the gesture navigation handle to invoke Circle to Search. Those using 3-button nav can hold down the home button. We already know that. We know what Circle to Search is. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, so this is the good stuff. Google's blog post today only mentions the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. A chart this morning erroneously, I think it's how you pronounce that, said it was coming to the Pixel Fold. So here's a little checkbox. They did check the box. But Google has since updated the graphic to remove the mention. The Pixel Fold 2 has the same Tensor G2 chip as those two phones and more RAM than the smaller model. It cannot be a specs issue. I'm loving that they're holding Google's ass to the fire. I'm with them. So Pixel Fold, it originally had it checked. So everybody was like, okay, cool, it's coming. We just won't get it right when everybody else gets it, right? Maybe they need more time to optimize it for the inner display on the Pixel Fold. Who knows? Well, they updated the graph, and as you can see, they removed it from the Pixel Fold. One theory that comes to mind is how circle to search might not be particularly optimized for the larger inner screen just yet. Meanwhile, Samsung said circle to search is coming to its older devices starting this month. It will be interesting to see whether it's immediately available on the Galaxy Tab S9 series, which if it is, I'm gonna have a whole ass conniption, because then we know it's not a large screen issue, because the Tab S9 Ultra is a way bigger display than the Pixel Fold. Even the base model Tab S9 is a bigger screen than the Pixel Fold, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Hopefully, a future update will bring circle to search, which is fundamentally a Google search/lens capability, to all current Pixel devices. Now, like I said before, for me with this, it's not about circle to search specifically, because you can already do exactly what circle to search does now on all Android phones. It's just not as fast or clean looking, right? Or seamless as pressing the navigation bar and then circling on the screen. But you can get essentially the same functionality with Google Lens right now. And I think some manufacturers, like I know OnePlus does it, they even add a Google Lens button in the camera. So you can click the Google Lens button and it launches Google Lens, and you can take a photo of whatever you're looking at and circle whatever you want to look at. And it's the same UI and everything, right? My beef goes all the way back to what we've talked about multiple times on the stream. I know JoJo has written articles about it too. My beef always comes down to the fact that the Pixel Fold is being treated like a second-class citizen. And it's one of those situations where you should not have the customers who are spending the most money on your most expensive devices feeling like second-class citizens. If I'm willing to spend $1,800 on your phone, you need to make sure I feel that support. And this isn't me feeling entitled or anything like that. And I'm not trying to say that people who bought normal Pixel slab phones shouldn't be treated to good customer service or anything either. I'm not saying that. They should too. But if I spend $1,800, I need a little bit more. I need to feel a little bit more of that concierge. I think I said that right. Service, right? It's almost like if I go to Longhorn. If I go to Longhorn. If I go to Longhorn Steakhouse, right, and I order a steak, Longhorn isn't the most expensive steakhouse. It's pretty middle of the road. It's not Chili's and Applebee's, but it ain't Ruth Chris Steakhouse, right? Now, if I go to Longhorn, right, I have one type of experience, and I expect that. I shouldn't get a Applebee's or Chili's experience going to a Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I should get a better level of service or support or customer service going to a more expensive restaurant. And that's how I feel about these phones. Don't have me spend $1,800 only to get me on software features. And here's the thing too, man, because I honestly do believe circle to search is going to come to the Pixel Fold. My biggest problem, and it's not just with Google, OnePlus has this issue too. All of these tech companies have this issue. And for the life of me, I cannot understand how, coming from a customer service background, I cannot understand how this is still a thing. I don't understand how these manufacturers have yet to figure out good communication skills. I'm not telling you got to leak the exact day, time, down to the second of when you're going to be releasing these new features. But how, excuse my French, cover y'all ears if y'all got kids watching. How fucking hard is it for Google to put out a damn blog post saying, Pixel Fold users, you will be getting circle to search. We're currently working to optimize it to give you the best experience possible. Expect it in the coming months. Expect it in the coming weeks. Whatever the hell you want to say, but communicate what is going on. Coming from a customer service background, good customer service, and a lot of people get this twisted. Good customer service is not about always giving the customer what they want or doing what the customer wants. That's not good customer service. Good customer service is when things go wrong, How do you handle that situation, right? Because you're not going to always be able to give the customer what they want. Sometimes what they want is unrealistic, right? But it's about how you approach it, how you communicate with said customer. I had a client literally today, right? I caused them a significant delay with their service. For those that don't know, I work in IT. I caused them a significant delay to service. Now, I could have just not communicated, said, hey, whenever the tech gets there is when the tech gets there, and left it at that. But no, I went the extra mile. I called the customer, said, hey, look, due to, an internal issue that was 100% caused by me, missing something on my end, you did have this week-long delay. I'm terribly sorry. I apologize for the inconvenience. It was definitely my fault. I'm going to continue monitoring your case to make sure the tech makes it out and you do get service on your system, right? We have a survey system. Anyone who's worked at a call center should know surveys and how CE is what it's really called, customer experience. And the customer, so I'm looking at my baby cam. The customer, he could have left us a bad survey, but he left us a good survey. We ended up getting a 10 out of 10. And in the comment field, because we have a comment field, in the comments field, the customer put, the only reason I'm giving y'all a 10 is because when things went wrong, y'all took accountability and y'all communicated properly with me. It's all about communication. OnePlus, Samsung, Apple, Google, Sony, Xiaomi, Vivo, Blue, whoever make them damn tank phones that Easy be buying, Oppo, Realme, iQOO. It is okay for things to go wrong. Shit happens. What is not okay is for y'all not to communicate. I'm not asking for y'all to say, we're going to have it fixed in 2 weeks. You don't have to give specific times, but acknowledging the issue or acknowledging how people feel and communicating with them is the best way to handle the situation. Because even if Google came out and was like, look, we can't do it due to whatever the freaking reason is, right? At least we have a concrete answer and we're not sitting in this void of, okay, are we getting new features? Are we not getting new features? The specifications aren't an issue because this has more RAM than the base Pixel 7. And it has the same processor as it too. So it's not a specs thing. What is the issue? It's the lack of communication that pisses consumers off. I look at OnePlus with their recent Android 14 bullshit on the OnePlus Open. We've been waiting for Android 14. We've been waiting for Android 14 on the OnePlus Open here in the States for months. No communication. We keep seeing everything else being updated. I'm seeing Nord phones get Android 14 updates. Nord phones are being updated. The OnePlus 12 has gotten like 3 or 4 updates since it's been out, and still no communication. That is unacceptable, especially for a device that I'm spending $1,400, $1,500 on. It's honestly unacceptable for any device. I mean, obviously, if you spent $200, you can only expect what you can expect, right? But if you're buying a flagship phone, at least have the decency to communicate with your consumers. That's it. That's it. I thought I muted myself again. But let's see what y'all talking about, because I'm getting off my soapbox. I've said this before, but communication is vital, man. You gotta talk to your consumers, and it just baffles me because like these are billion-dollar companies. How the fuck have y'all not figured out communication? Like, are y'all trying to avoid the conflict? Like, what exactly? Like, I've always wondered, like, what is it that y'all can't just put out a little tweet or blog post? Pixel Fold users, we haven't forgotten about you. Yes, we are planning for it to come, but we need more time to optimize it. Stay tuned, but it is coming. No communication. Google Google went on stage and talked about that super res zoom feature on the Pixel 8 Pro. We haven't heard about it since they talked about it at the damn keynote. Where's the feature at, Google? The Pixel 8 Pro is about to be replaced with the Pixel 9 Pro towards the end of the year. Are y'all about to drop that in the summertime? Like, there's no community. And I get it. This stuff is hard. I'm not sitting here saying it's easy to make phones and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that because it's not. It's not easy to do software. It's not easy to build this stuff, but y'all gotta communicate, man. People spend too much money on this stuff for y'all not to communicate. MPT from above said, and I'm way behind with some of these too, y'all. I'm actually just gonna skip to some of the Pixel stuff. I did say what's up with slang. This is a good point too. YouTuber creators, because they need to get this stuff while the algorithm is still boosting and while the interest is still there. 100% agree. Yeah, storage upgrades are pretty crazy how much they charge. Yep, versus Costemic. I saw what you meant, Genosis. He said, just notice I'm on Pixel Fold. When you start to bring up the Google Assistant, you can select search screen and then, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's already there. Just the UI for circle to search, press and hold is the only thing that's not there. So yeah, they could definitely do it. It's already built in. Yeah, Tech Twan said that. Yeah, put the damn charger in the damn box. He said, yeah, 1,000 for 1080p was crazy expensive. You were getting quad HD on flagship 6-7 years ago. Thank you, Mike. And like I said, it brings me back to this whole 60 hertz. And I know we're kind of bouncing back and forth right now, but we're kind of wrapping up anyway, so it's all good. But it brings me back to all of this like 60 hertz conversation with the iPhone. It was never about whether or not 60 hertz is good enough. Like, I don't give a shit if 60 hertz isn't noticeable or isn't good enough. It's the fact that competing phones at cheaper price points have this feature, and you're making the conscious decision to not give your users a better experience. And some people say, well, 120 hertz isn't necessarily, a better experience because it's only making things more smoother. No, the fact that you can dial down the refresh rate from 120 all the way to 1 or even to 10 hertz is going to save you battery. Everybody cares about battery. Average consumers don't give a shit about refresh rate, but I guarantee you, if you said, hey, would you like more battery out of your phone? Who the fuck would say no? And I know I'm probably not, I'm cursing like a sailor tonight, yo. I'm sorry. But it brings me back to all of that, dude. Like, just because a company can get away with something doesn't mean that we should let them get away with something. Is it going to matter if all of us make videos talking shit about Apple and 60 hertz? No, it's not going to matter. They're still going to sell a ton of iPhones and continue to do what they always did, right? But at the end of the day, man, it's the principle of it all. If cheaper phones are doing this, you also need to do it as well. Unless there is a, concrete reason why you can't do it, a technical reason why you can't. Hell, they could have even used old displays. Like, I wouldn't have even been mad if they would have, reused old displays from earlier iPhones to put 120 hertz on there. Like, I would have been fine with that. But damn, dude, like, just put it on there. It don't cost y'all much more to do. Apple love to reuse old parts and stuff, man. They using the same chip on newer phones, the same chip from last year. MPT said, I was referring to how OnePlus has super fast charge. Oh, but limit the data transfer speeds. I got you. Are they doing that on the OnePlus 12? I think the OnePlus 12 is rated for what, 3.2 on the USB-C? USB-C 3.2, I think is what it is. Mike said it would be nice if Google offered thank you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at it like the gaming industry, right? Gaming industry, they'll throw out release windows. Oh, we're trying to have this game out in the summer of 2024, in the fall of 2024. I'm fine with Google even doing that. And the thing is, even if they don't necessarily meet that exact criteria, right? As long as they are communicating, it's okay. Shit happens. I'm very patient when it comes to this stuff, man. But y'all need to communicate. It's the communication that pisses people off. He said, take away AI or continuity. OnePlus flushes. Honestly, Genosis, yeah. 120, yeah, 128 has to be done. Google cannot drop a 128 gigabyte phone for $1,000 this year. They cannot do it. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Their storage upgrade to 256 isn't too bad. It's like a $60 increase, so it's not too bad. But no, just eat that $60 charge for $1,000. Go ahead and just give me 256 out the box, bro. Like, come on. All that nickel and diamond shit ain't even needed, dog. BG said, I had the OnePlus 11. I just don't like their system interface. And that's totally okay too, BG. Because, like I said, there's some people who don't like One UI. There's some people who don't like iOS. There's some people who don't like the Pixel experience, right? So if you just don't like, Oxygen OS or Color OS, dude, that is totally understandable why you wouldn't, buy their stuff. I'm totally okay. I'm totally cool with that, dude. 100% understand it. Sling said OnePlus deserves to be talked about. I agree. OnePlus is making banger devices, but most tech enthusiasts have just devolved, and that is a very clear distinction that I think needs to be made. You can be a tech enthusiast, or you can be I ain't even gonna call you a fanboy, but you can be a tech enthusiast, or you can be a brand enthusiast. We got a lot of brand enthusiasts who claiming to be tech enthusiasts, and I'm not talking about larger content creators. I see smaller content creators who do the same shit too. So it ain't a larger versus smaller content creation. You see them on all levels. I see them at the top. I see them in the mid. I see them at the bottom. So yeah, there are tech enthusiasts and brand enthusiasts. There are differences. Said, you mean Walmart is Gucci? Well, Walmart is getting up there expensive, but you know what I mean, fool. Oh man. Mike said, I think it's especially bad in the United States. And I've noticed that too. I've seen way more people be receptive to other brands, and like India. OnePlus does work in India. Xiaomi does pretty good out in the EU. They just launched the 14 Ultra global in the EU. One of my buddies who does camera comparisons on Twitter, he picked one up global. I'm so happy to see that. Give us some good options. He got a good trade-in on it too. Like, come on, man. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. He said, people like familiar, you can upgrade an iPhone with no learning curve. I get that, BG, but I'm going to ask you this, right? Is $500 more worth that familiarity? Is paying $500? And like I said, Juan made that exact same point in his video too. So I'm kind of ad-libbing what he's saying with it, but you're paying a lot of extra money, dog, getting less to have something that is familiar to you. Sometimes it is okay to break that comfort zone. Sometimes it's okay. Because the thing, I look at it like this, dude. So many people get hung up about people returning shit. The return window is there for a reason. If I buy some shit and don't like it, I'm returning it. If you buy it, try it, and it's not for you, return that shit. Hell, these days, you got companies like Samsung and OnePlus, they offer instant trade-ins. So you can say, yes, I'm going to trade this device in, get a discounted price, try the phone, and if you're not feeling it, send that shit back, and you still got your old phone that you ain't shipped back to, or you still got your old phone that you haven't shipped in yet. Like nowadays, there's no reason for people, and like I said, I'm not gonna say no reason. There are reasons if you like Dex, S Pen, those features that those manufacturers have that nobody else have. But if you're somebody who just, doesn't really have any like brand allegiance or doesn't depend on any of those features, there's nothing lost to trying out a OnePlus or trying out a Samsung or trying, I mean, iPhone and Pixel, you're going to pay all that money up front. You know what I mean? But even in that situation, man, you can put the money, you can fork the money over up front. And if you don't like it, return it. And you still got your old phone. You don't got to trade it in. It's because you say you're going to trade it in and you click that place order button and they ship that phone, don't mean that you can't ship that shit right back to them. It's not that, what I mean? If you try it and don't like it, fuck that. Accessories is another area too where we got to see improvement, and it's tough because with accessories it kind of becomes a chicken versus the egg conversation, right? Case manufacturers don't see the demand from, and I say demand in air quotes, but that really is what it is. Case companies have told me that they don't see the demand from Android users, but how can there ever be a demand when y'all don't make any products for these phones? Like, you have to start somewhere. You have to try, right? I'm tired of seeing the same tired ass Spigen cases, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with Spigen, Tudia, and all of them, but I want to see some Pataka cases for the OnePlus, some Kadabi cases for the Pixel. Like, I want to see some of those brands do more. You know what I mean? Like y'all making buku dollars off of iPhones. Y'all can throw a little bit of R&D towards some Pixel, some OnePlus, some of this, some of that. Like I said, the demand can't be there until y'all actually make the cases. How can I have a demand for something that don't, I mean, you could have demand for something that doesn't exist. But if I literally sit here and tweet at Kadabi every day for the next year, like if I get 10 of my closest friends or 50 of my closest friends and I say, hey, for the next year, we're going to tweet at Kadabi every day. Bring the Kadabi sheep to the Google Pixel 9 Pro. Bring the Kadabi sheep to the Google Pixel 9 Pro. I guarantee you we will still not get a Kadabi sheep for the Pixel 9 Pro. And that's not me trying to call out Kadabi. This is to all the case manufacturers. Like, people want these cases, but dang there. So how can they be hype? How can they that's why you see me pushing like, oh, you want the what might be the best case for your S24 Ultra? Kadabi getting ready to drop it for you. Like, that's why I'm pushing that, because the more of those cases they sell, well, now they say, oh, damn, well, we actually are doing some numbers on these Samsung cases. Let's open up to Google a little bit now, because Google's kind of like the third player here in the States. Let's open up to Google or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. It's definitely tough, because like I said, I get it from their perspective too, because it's like, look, we don't want to put out all these cases and don't nobody buy that shit. So I get it. I totally get it. But it's a chicken before the egg conversation, man. He said Tensor needs 3 to 4 years of hardware jumps to compete with Qualcomm and Snapdragon. This is kind of what I get with too, Mike. Like, I don't need the extra processing power. Just give me the added efficiency and I'm good. I'm kind of skipping through some of these to pick out the good ones. Hey, Pastor Ike, what up, Dell? What up, man? Hope everything is good with you, homie. Thank you. Terrible intercommunication between teams. So stupid. The only one I will say, and this isn't more so like the communication between company and consumer, but more so company within company, Apple. That is probably the only company that I've like had a good experience when it comes to like that whole departments having to communicate with each other. Everybody else, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Like, I'm not trying to, flex or give myself a job, but OnePlus, Google, hit me up. I will run. I'm gonna tell you right now, for a salary of, pay me 75K a year, 75, 80K a year, and I'll come run your whole customer service department for y'all. Every inch of customer service, I will run it for y'all. And I guarantee you, when it comes to this whole conversation about what companies have good customer service, you would see a major difference. I believe that much in myself when it comes to my customer service ability. And I believe that their customer service ability is that trash when it comes to most of these Android brands. I'm waiting. My phone is right in the bedroom, but I got my watch on for the call. So give me a call. Google, OnePlus, Samsung, Xiaomi. Y'all ain't exempt, because I'll gladly go live overseas to go and work for them. So let me know, man. Let me know. Yep, Apple's pretty good. Apple's pretty good when it comes to the communication between departments and stuff, man. Hey, Savage in the building. He said, "Angry Ike." Yeah, I'm ranting a little bit tonight, dog. I'm ranting a little bit tonight. They keep their team small. Their hiring process under 3% yearly, and don't really have industry standards for when hiring. So you're competing with so much computer science on your resume, but then you get into Google and got to learn their own. Yeah, that is a good point too. And that's another thing too. I think that we have far too many. My baby's home. We have far too many engineers and like tech people, and not enough customer service people. Like, I wouldn't even consider myself, like, with my job, I don't feel like I succeed at my job, and this isn't a flex, I promise, but I don't feel like I'm successful at my job because I'm the smartest when it comes to solving IT problems, or I'm the most technical user. Like, there's plenty of people who are more technical than me. But where I beat you is my customer service. I know how to talk to people. I'm a people person. You can put me in a room, and if I want to be bothered, because sometimes I don't want to be bothered. If I want to be bothered, I can talk to everybody in there, a bunch of different personalities, and I'll still be able to talk to everybody in the room and have a good, valuable conversation. That's what is missing from these companies. It's the customer service aspect, man. And customer service ain't I call in pissed off and you give me what I want. Customer service is y'all messed up. What are y'all doing to hold yourselves accountable? What are we doing to get it done? You know, what are we doing to communicate this to the customer? Hey, Brad, I appreciate that. Make sure I hit that like button, man, because yeah, we getting ready to wrap it on up. Savage said, I'm pissed that this Fold 6 won't have the S Pen and body. Yeah, Savage, I'm one of the people who are constantly saying, like, leave the Z Fold the same thickness and just throw the S Pen in there. Don't worry about trying to make that thing thin. I know a lot of people are like, no, we want it to be thinner. We want it to be thinner. We want it to be thinner because we're seeing what import devices are doing in terms of thinness. But Samsung has something that those devices won't have. Keep a little bit of extra, you know, thickness or girth, pause, and then just throw the S Pen in there, yo, and just throw the S Pen in there because that's what people want. People won't mind a thicker device if you put the S Pen in, better, you know, even better ultra tier cameras and a bigger battery. People ain't gonna complain about the thickness, and if they are, you're buying the wrong phone. Right? You're not buying a Z Fold 6 Ultra with all the bells and whistles because you want the thin and lightest phone on the market. You're buying it because that thing will be a productivity fucking monster, dude. It will be a productivity monster. So Samsung, stop trying to do thinness and put the damn S Pen in the phone. He said, it depends on the user. Non-techie people don't really care about paying more in the US due to the installment payment plans. I ask people to switch from Apple. See, but Lewis, I feel like that stems from them being uneducated. It doesn't stem from just them being familiar with something, right? If you held up, like if you literally did like an expense, right? And you show people even over those installment payments, you're about to spend $500, $600 more on this phone than you could spend on this phone. And with this phone, you're getting every feature you need, and you're getting 90% of what this phone that costs $500 or $600 more costs. I guarantee you, we would see a lot more people switch over. The problem is every time somebody walks into a carrier store or walks into a Best Buy, the first thing front and center is Apple and Samsung marketing and reps actively pushing those particular phones. You have far less T-Mobile agents and things like that actually asking customers, what do you use your phone for? And I mean, I've sat in carrier stores and listened to how the conversation goes. Customer comes in and they're like, you know, hey, I need a new phone. First thing out of my mouth, if I'm trying to sell somebody a phone, what do you use your current phone for? What do you value in a smartphone? What did you like about your past phone? What didn't you like about your past phone? And that's how I'm helping them make a decision. Agents and techs are like, well, what phone do you currently have? Oh, I have a Samsung A50 something. Oh, we'll just put you in a Samsung S24 for $800 that doesn't have quad HD, that doesn't have periscope cameras and all this other stuff. Like that's more so what's happening. Like they're not taking the time to try to educate, you know, the people coming. And I know I sound like easy right now, but that's not, at least from what I see, that's not happening. That's not happening. Like I remember, and I'll never forget it. I went to go buy my OnePlus 7 Pro at a T-Mobile store. And when I came in and asked for exactly what I wanted. And the guy was literally like, yo, you were the first person to come in here and really ask for this, you know, for this phone. And I told him, I'm like, well, you know, do you like know anything about the phone? Like, you know, because I mean, like I would think that this is a phone that a lot of people would be drawn to because of what you're getting for the price. You know, and he's like, well, you know, in all honesty, you know, if we're backed up, we're just trying to hurry up and get people out the store and like that whole process isn't personal and intimate anymore. Like people aren't really trying to help people find the best phone for them. They're just trying to sell them something and get them the hell out of the store. That's it. Like, and the thing is, something like a phone, and I'm just going to take this down because we're done with articles, but something like a phone, like when you think about it, your phone is probably the most intimate electronic you own. Because like I look at my phone has all my banking information. It has all my pictures and videos of my family, my wife, my kids. You know, it has, you know, certain documentation in terms of like my personal, social security information, stuff like that. Like I have literally, some people have their lives on their phone. Like you got people running whole ass businesses off of a phone, running whole YouTube channels off of a phone. Your phone is the most intimate piece of tech you typically own, you know? So for that not to be taken serious when you go into a store to buy, like buying a new phone shouldn't just be like, oh, I just went and bought a new phone. Like, no, buying a new phone should be like, yo, my previous phone sucked at A, B, and C because it was 3 or 4 years old. Now I got this new modern phone. My pictures are significantly better. My phone feels significantly faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be excited about upgrading your phone. It shouldn't just be I guess I gotta go get a new phone today. Like it shouldn't be like that. You should be excited, especially when you think about what our phones are freaking capable of. Like just think back 10 years ago, bro. Like 10 years ago, I have family in different states, different countries that at any point in time, I could be out and about, whether it's over Wi-Fi, cellular, whatever. I can video call them and really see how they're doing, not just ask them how they're doing or just text them or message them over social media. I can call them via video. Like when I was growing up, and I'm gonna get kind of personal, and then I'm gonna probably end it from there. But when I was growing up, my biological father was really, not around a whole lot, right? He had some things going on and he couldn't be, right? And I'm just comparing like how I grew up versus how my oldest, who lives in another state, I'm comparing. Like sometimes I'll sit and talk with my mom and I'll compare our relationships, right? Like back then, he could only call certain times or else it's going to cost a fortune because of minutes and things like that. And before then, we didn't even have cell phones. He got to call on the landline and hope I'm home, and whatever. Whereas now well, it's an hour difference and this is bedtime, but I can be out and about and be like, oh crap, yo, hey, E, what's going on, man? How you doing? And really look at him in his face and see how he's doing. Like, tech is so powerful, man. Even the most basic of tech allows you to be so connected to everything and everybody around you. And that relationship, and I know people are like, damn, like he talking like this about phones. I'm really passionate about this stuff, man. What always made me so into tech wasn't because of like I can download this faster than you can. It was never about that. It's the futurist aspect in seeing how tech benefits my everyday life. The fact that I can still have a valuable father and son relationship with my son who doesn't live 10 minutes down the road. He lives in another state in a different time zone. I can still call him 3-4 times a week and still have that face-to-face interaction with him. Is it the same as him physically being here? No, we haven't gotten there yet, right? But it's a whole hell of a lot better than constantly hitting a landline and hoping he's home or having to coordinate with his mom. Like, and it's not saying me and his mom don't have a good relationship, but if I don't want to talk to her, he got his own phone. I never got to talk to her except to coordinate his flight and stuff like that. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Even in aspects of like, health and medicine and schooling, right? Like we didn't have iPads and stuff and Chromebooks to help us solve problems. Man, we had old dusty textbooks, when I was in school and stuff. So yeah, like I said, it really makes me passionate because tech is like everything else in life. It's a tool, and how you use that tool is going to determine whether it's really beneficial to humankind or not. In technology, that means AI, smartphones, cars, all that stuff. It has the potential to be so much more than just, oh, you got a green bubble, so you poor, or you carry an iPhone, so you're dumb because you don't because your phone is too simple. You can't do anything complex. Like technology is about so much more than that, man. So if y'all don't hear anything else, from me in this live stream, like all of us, let's all collectively do better. Let's all collectively do better. Even with something like the Apple Vision Pro, you know what I'm saying? Like I get it. We get caught up because Apple came out with this and everybody's treating it like it's the best thing since sliced bread. MetaQuest 3's out. It was doing some of the same stuff and all of that argument. I ain't getting into that. I'm just thankful that we live in a time where I can put on a fucking headset, right? And be able to do things like consume content if my wife wants to watch TV and be fully immersed in my experience, right? I can use Vision Pro for productive stuff. The UI looks really really fun, looks cool. It's clean. So I don't know, man. I'm just so overall, and I guess that's probably the biggest reason why I lost that like spark or that fire to make videos, because I got so tired of it always being about this is better than that. This is better than that. Well, this is faster than that. Well, this can't be priced at this point because this, and that, and the third. Or, they doing all this marketing, so they just have all of the market share. And I just got tired of that shit. And I just wanted to get back to why I fell in love with tech in the first place. And it was seeing how the little things could be made so much easier for me because tech is a thing, right? Like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Like I said, I'm just kind of ranting at this point. But yeah, man, I hope that kind of rings for some people out there. Yo, Trent, man, appreciate the $10 holla, dog. Appreciate you for coming through, dog. I appreciate you immensely, man. Shout out to you, homie. Appreciate it. I went to Verizon to pick up a case from my phone, and I overheard someone asking about the Pixel Fold customer service. Like, see, like this right here is what I'm talking about. And again, that's not all Verizon's fault, because if I'm Google, bro, somebody came in and asked about an $1,800 phone and we couldn't sell it because the rep was uneducated about it. Hey, Google, invest money in training more of these reps to make sure that they know what the hell they talking about, right? It like your job at like a phone store shouldn't just be a typical grocery store cashier type of job. Like if I'm it should, I'm not saying you should have like, I'm not saying that you should have to have like a college degree, but you should know some inklings of this shit, man. I still go in stores and hear people talking about how iPhone cameras is better than everything else on the market. Google, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, dude, that hasn't been the case in how long now? And I mean, again, a lot of it is subjective, but like I said, I've even heard sales rep tell customers stuff that was completely untrue. Oh well, if you buy this Galaxy S24, you're gonna have to upgrade in a year because Samsung phones just don't stay fast over time. That hasn't been true since like the S3 or S4. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know, man. I really do treat these live streams as like my therapy, because, and I know a lot of y'all feel the same way. I don't have anybody like and I don't want to say in the real world, because y'all are in the real world, but y'all know what I mean. Like in real life, I don't have people to sit down and get this stuff out with that I know would understand where I'm coming from. So I kind of treat this as like my therapy, man. So hopefully, like I said, my ranting ain't irritating y'all or nothing like that. But like I said, I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything good before we go ahead and wrap this one up. Trent said no drunk FaceTiming. Dell said facts. He said, I feel the same. Good shit. Yeah, man, I appreciate it though. And I feel like that's why like me and Delvon, like, and it may not seem like it, like me and Delvon are really, really tight. Like we talk pretty regularly. Me, him, and me and Galen. And I think a lot of it is because we've been able to get a lot of this shit off our chest, man. Like we get to just talk and just air this shit out and talk about how we really feel. And I get it, like you don't want to let the toxic shit get to you, of course, right? But when you're as passionate and you care about this stuff as much as you do, like this stuff, like this isn't just a watch. This isn't just a computer or a PC. Like I don't see tech as just lights and zeros and ones. Like I'm passionate about this stuff, man. I love this stuff. Hopefully y'all can hear that in my voice, man. But Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this one on up, man. We went almost a whole hour over. That's got to be a record here. I don't think we ever have one this late. I got it. I got in my bag, right? I got in my bag. But no, man, if y'all hung out this song, I see we still rolling, 20 strong. Typically, it's kind of teetered off at this point. So I just want to say, thank y'all for hanging out every Thursday night that I come and do this, man. Y'all could choose to be anywhere else or be watching anything else on TV, man. And y'all chose to be here with me. So I appreciate y'all, the support, the love, everything, man. I appreciate the support that y'all give to other creators, because a lot of it is the same names that we see across the week on all the streams, man. Whether it's T stream, whether Trent just decided to go live, whether Gigi, LaShawn, Easy are doing their thing, Slang, El Jefe, whatever, man. Like, it's the same names, everybody still coming through and showing that same love, man. So shout out to y'all, because without y'all, there is no live stream. Without the engagement, there is no live stream, man. So, shout out to y'all, man. Again, appreciate the love and the support. I'm going to wrap this one up. Again, remember, no live stream next week. I'm going on like a little mini kind of staycation because still in Florida. But yeah, I'm going to be pretty much going away. So Thursday will be my prep day to get everything together. So no live stream next week. We will get back together the Thursday after that. So like I said, if I don't talk to some of y'all between now and then, man, again, love y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for coming through. As always, this is Ike's Tech Talk. I will catch you all in the next live stream. Peace. And thanks for letting me rant, y'all. Peace.